Here.
James Davis.
Here.
David Goode.
Here.
David Green.
Here.
Harmon Hardin.
Here.
Stan Howard.
Here.
Jason Lamb.
Here.
Sean Pritchett.
Here.
Mark Williams.
Here. Principal statement?
I'll start by, I don't know if any of y'all noticed when you drove up, but we have a lot of work this summer with team effort and our mission group. So we probably got somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 with materials and time donated. Didn't cost us anything. They also worked on the baseball and softball field. I know y'all know about some of that. So we had a lot of work, physical work around here this summer. And of course, we're on their schedule for every summer. I told them just put us down for permanent. You know, we always are going to need something. So if you'll look around, we have 3 pavilions. We use those for outdoor classrooms and other things. So we have a few things like that have changed. School's running smooth. Basically, when it started, I was a little scared to even say that because, you know, sometimes you hit those, but we're running smooth. Everything's going well. As you know, our scores were not where we wanted them to be, so we are working intensely on getting those folks. We've made some changes, made some teaching changes, so we're working on getting those back to where they need to be, and I think we're on the right track at this time.
Thank you. Approval of consent agenda. Pleasure board. Move to approve. Second. Motion and second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Robert Polk.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
David Goode.
Yes.
David Green.
Yes.
Harmon Hardin.
Yes.
Stan Howard.
Pass.
Jason Lamb.
Yes.
Sean Pritchett.
Yes.
Mark Williams.
Yes. Item number 1, discussion action regarding approval of the audit bid for the 2018-2019 school year. I know we've got 2 bids this time for the first time, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the pleasure of the board? Move to approve.
Second.
Recommendation. Any discussion?
We're going on Dr. Joe's recommendation. That's my understanding.
Yes.
Good.
On that page right there, this background information, I included in there, step in, well, part of the, and it has on there that I'd like to recommend party conditions compared to. And I,
The point is, we're keeping the same one that we've had for years.
yes, and that's the whole thing of it. We build a relationship with them. I have no special interest in that, except they have built a relationship with our bookkeepers and have trained our bookkeepers over the years. And as Lisa, I'm sure can attest to, we are calling them quite often when they're coming to our school and giving a lot of hands-on training that I hate to start all over with somebody that don't know our community the way that they do. That's the real reason for this. So when I got the 2 bids, I was concerned. I called Scott Bennett and I said, does this fully determine which direction we go with this? And his response was just run like that.
First and second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Polk.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
David Goode.
Yes.
David Green.
Yes.
Harmon Hardin.
Yes.
Stan Howard.
Yes.
Jason Lamb.
Yes.
Sean Pritchett.
Yes.
Mark Williams.
Yes. Item number 2, discussion action regarding approval of changes in policy 2.806, line 4, to 25,000. This will be the first reading. I think we need to have some discussion first on this one, don't we?
Can I speak to that for just a second? So I was approached by two of my department people, one the cafeteria leader, Jill Nix, and the other Laura Barnett. Two people that make the biggest purchases besides what we do in our office. And if either one of those two ladies do anything in their department, it's over $5,000. So they asked me if I would bring to the table a higher threshold. And what I did was I called the surrounding counties to say, you know, what are people around us doing? And Lisa's got those in her briefcase, but to let you know, 3 very close to us have it at 10,000. A couple have it at 25,000. They threw that number at me of 25,000. You're the board, you can do whatever you feel like we need to do there. You can stipulate it however you wanted to, or you can, you know, you're the boss here. So, you know, I was thinking about this. I know it's a big jump because ours is set at 5,000 right now. 5,000 is a little hard to deal with. We're all the time, especially in those two departments, tech and the kitchens.
And plus, you know, this was issued in 2002.
Right.
Inflation has crept up since then. A lot of things have went up in price.
Even if you wanted to make it for those two departments to be incurred, you know, whatever you are comfortable with, I'm comfortable with. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier on those two departments to be able to make purchases.
Usually, how much are their purchases usually?
I mean, you know, an oven could be $70,000, just like that can go out today. You gotta have, you know, in a few days.
Well, most of our money's flow through money anyway.
Yes.
I'm about to say, we're just, I mean, title, you know, for the.
But they have the same stipulations as us for spending,
Yes.
because our policy says. So, you know, y'all might wanna just talk about it.
Like how much was these air conditioners that went out, and we had to get them fixed at Rock House, had to order new air conditioners, how much was that? About.
Well, there's one on the addendum, I believe it's on the addendum, that was $8,000 for the gym, coaches' offices, and the inside of the gym classrooms. It went completed out as 100 degrees. It was. So.
Plus, that's an emergency. You have to do it real fast. You can't.
Well, that stuff always comes up as an emergency, and it's never been. So I don't think this is gonna change any of that. It might be nice to look down the road at have a little workshop about stuff like that. Like I said, the two departments you're talking about, technology and food service, is that correct? And most of that is flow-through money, correct?
Yes.
I could see raising their level, but generally, for the whole policy, I can't see that we should raise the whole policy level above that. And I think we really need to look more at what we've got on bids and having more contracts, so we don't have to do as much emergency expenditure like that. But I do think the 5,000 level needs to be raised some.
Yeah, I'd say $10,000. Since, you know, I think you should go that route, it's $10,000. Because, you know, like I say, inflation prices went up, and, you know, we have to match that.
Is that a motion you're making?
I'll entertain the motion to, if you're gonna double it, but if you're gonna take those other two departments, you need to make it in the same motion.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I'll make a motion to do that, you know, put it in the same.
I'll second.
So you'll make a motion that we'll double it to 10, and then those two departments to what?
Whatever the board thinks, I mean, I can see, it's like James said, talking about the oven, I can see
keeping it that, you know.
Yes.
25, because, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that, those two.
Like I said, that's why we're not really control anyway, is it?
Why don't we keep them all to 10,000 right now? All right. And we can, assess this later.
Back on that. So, like walk-in cooler, what does walk-in cooler mean actually? I know it's replaced one here just not long ago, I mean, like last year for South Polk or Pier 1.
Yeah, it was a huge amount.
Yes, and I know that is something that's close to $20,000 or so.
But you can go ahead and get an executive committee to go ahead.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. If we had it,
Most of this stuff that comes like that is being an emergency.
Yeah, emergency
Right.
situation,
Exactly.
so.
Now, whereas Ms. Barnett there, your computer and stuff, now that's,
it kinda happens a lot more, a lot more often than say. air conditioner.
Miss Barnett's always good about getting bids and
Oh,
getting
yeah.
to us on time, though. I mean, she
Yeah.
stays on top of it. and she-
Unless it was just something that had to be done right away. Here's something to think about, kind of taken from what was said. So if you doubled it to 10, that's a pretty, there's 3 systems right around us that have 10, so it's comparable. And if there had to be a bigger item, as the policy states, I could bring it to the executive committee and be okay that way so that we could make the purchase. And then we would have to be sure.
We could have anything under 25 go to the executive committee, and anything over 25 go to the full board.
I think that'd be perfect.
Okay, that sounds
Work.
And even if it was that big a deal and that important, we could,
Have an emergency session.
Right. That sounds logical.
So Mr. Davis's motion is to double it to 10,000. Any further discussion?
And raise the rate for, technology and food services 25 with executive committee approval? Or do you want to expand that to everything to 25 for executive committee approval, and then anything above 25 goes to full board?
Sounds good to me.
It's Mr. Davis's motion.
I'll make that motion.
We had a second?
25,
I'll
Mr.
second.
Bud.
Got a second right here.
So just to be clear, anything 10,000 or under doesn't need approval. Anything $10,001 to 25,000 would go to the executive committee, and anything over 25 would go to the full board.
And that's for technology and food services?
Yeah.
Only?
For those
Or across the board.
Or across the board, so it's across the board.
Or you just want to keep those two departments? That's what I'm trying to clarify. Are we going to keep it to those two departments, or are we going to make that across the board?
So the
Keep
way
the
that I
two
understood it from your discussion is you're gonna double it to 10,000.
Double 10,000.
10 to 25,000 is going to get executive board approval and pass that special session.
Yeah.
So then there's no stipulation for food services or.
That's what I'm asking. Do you want to
Over
make a
10,000.
stipulation or not? I'm just trying to clarify that.
If we do it this way, we won't really do it.
So over $10,000 to 25,000 is across the board. And by executive committee makes the decision. Okay. And over 25,000 board.
We'll call a special session.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable?
Got it now, Lisa?
I got it first.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
You got it, Mark? Read it one more time?
read it one more time.
Yeah.
Make
So-
sure.
One more time.
It is, the regular is to double it to 10,000, and 10,001 to 25,000, executive board, and over that to whole board.
$25,001 goes to the whole board.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Robert Cole,
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
David Good,
Yes.
David Green,
Yes.
Norman Harden,
Yes.
Stan Howard,
Yes.
Jason Lamb,
Yes.
Sean Pritchett.
Yes.
Mark Williams.
Yes. Item number 3, discussion action regarding approval of school safety purchase to be taken from school safety grant. I've asked Dr. McAbee, he's in the information, I'd like to pull him up and let him do his part since they're all tied together?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you should have two small packets, one just an overview and then one that consists of some Wheeler bids. So if we would, I'd like to go over to the overview with you and kind of put the context to the Wheeler bid that we did. So over the summer, the SROs, the principals from every school, Arthur Bigham was involved with some of it, and I went around to every school and did a school safety assessment. We all had to go be trained for Homeland Security to do these things. So as we went through, we made notes about prevention and monitoring, about preventing folk from getting in that shouldn't be there, or monitoring what's going on. So as you see this overview, it's broken down that way for every school. Some things we do to prevent and things we do to monitor. And so I just listed every school there and kind of where they're at. And then at the bottom, you'll see where I finally just summarized that, and I'll try to make this quick, because I know you've got a lot of items. But the two high schools are in better shape than the other schools. For this reason, they have better monitoring and better prevention. They've got the buzzer systems in place and that kind of thing. So if you look, the other thing too that I didn't say was the reoccurring funds for this year through the grant, it almost doubled. So we'll get double the amount we've been getting from now on. And then for the one-time grant, it was close to $65,000. And so that gives us, you know, that's quite a bit, but when you deal with 6 schools and doing some of this technology, it doesn't go as far as we'd like. So we prioritize things, and again, this is not just from me, it was many people were involved with this. So at what we're looking at right now is, since Copper Basin High School has some very good technology in it for cameras, they've got the buzzer. You go to Polk County High, that's got the buzzer. It's your High Middle that's got the buzzer and multiple locations. So we're looking at elementary schools now. So that's what your agenda item is about, is South Polk. It can be dealt with pretty quickly. And what that is Wheeler gave us a bid to give key fobs to every staff member and to put those on 2 different doors, the front door, and then the teachers, and Miss Frances Brownlee told us, that side door, the way it's there with kids right out in the open, they want to be able to get in and out of it very quickly.
Where the bus pickup is?
On around like, no, on around.
Far in towards the playground?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can get out, but nobody can come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they get out there, it was hard for them to get back in if they needed to quickly.
Yeah.
So this bid is not for the kind, Wheeler advised us not to get maybe the magnet type that are at the top. This is a higher quality strike plate. So you'll not get in South Polk unless you've got that key fob and you're within 35 feet where somebody buzzes you in. And then it's also got the camera system that works through Wi-Fi, so it's not just one person can watch. Anybody can log into that and check the doors and let people in and out. So it's a really good system, and they gave you the bids there. When you go through that bid, they do it in 3 different parts because they didn't know how far we would want to go, so they gave you 3, and I've given you all 3. They total $5,222 to do everything like it should. And as we met, we felt like that's the best option for South Polk. The other 2 elementary schools, Copper Basin Elementary and Benton Elementary, they're different. And Mr. Cole made this point. When you go into Basin, for example, once you go through those first set of doors, you can go to the window there where the secretary's at. So what we want to do is get bids to put a wall there and new sets of doors. So when you enter, you can go to the secretary window, but you don't go any further until she buzzes you through. And the same thing for Benton Elementary, because that area is narrow. You can't do it at South Polk the way that cafeteria is. So that's what's listed there to prevent people from getting into your school. After that, if there's money left over in that one-time grant, we'd like to distribute that through the schools to get better, higher quality cameras.
So you're gonna put out for bids for construction on those 2 projects, put it together maybe?
Yes. So we'd have to get an architect involved with that. The fire marshal, I've spoken to him, and he said, if you get architects to look at that, he said, I know these things, it's a different world. He said, as long as architects sign off on that, I'm going to be with you. So, it's just a
The
process.
architect will have to draw it up, an engineer will have to sign off on it, and then the fire marshal has
So
to.
the state has to approve it.
So that's just, you know, I know that's not getting every school something, but at the end of the day, there was a couple of schools that did have more than others. And so the priority is, I mean, it's good to have good monitoring, we like that, but if we can prevent them from getting in to begin with, I think that's a higher.
So we're gonna go ahead and do I know like here at the elementary, we don't, no buzzers now, right?
Right.
So we're gonna go ahead and do that first.
Well, we're gonna do that at South Polk because they're not gonna get a second entry wall. At Copper Basin Elementary, what we want is that whole second entry. And so if that comes in higher than what we can afford, we'll back up, we can get Wheeler to come in and do just like they did at South Polk and give a buzzer system.
Time frame.
Well, Wheeler said they can get busy quickly, and I don't know, Dr. Jones knows more about how to get the architect involved. I've never dealt with architects yet, so what do you think about the time frame for that?
Just have to check and see, it's according to whatever their schedule is. We'll be, we'll be wanting to act faster than it has, I'm sure, but I mean, we can start trying to make it happen as early as tomorrow, but we'll be under, when can you come? We can't be here until this date, and then we'll have to go to the next step. We'll have the engineer sign off on it. It's kind of like when you go get, you're building a house, you gotta get all these permits, kind of like that. But any kind of construction due to a school building has to have those three things involved.
On 5,222 for the Wheeler bid.
We're going, Mr. Goode, to expand on what you asked just a minute ago, we're going to make sure that South Polk Elementary has that buzzer installed, one way or the other. And if it comes to it, I'll bring that back, and we'll do that, whatever we need to do as a unit. But we need to make sure that happens this year.
Okay.
Yeah, the priority for sure. I mean, these are tentative plans, and until $65,000, I mean, if these bids come in astronomical, we've got back. But worst case scenario, and still a good case, is we could probably get the same thing that South Polk has. Your teachers have the key fobs to get in, roughly 5,000 a school.
Just saw Matthew, because he rolled up his hand, good deal. All thinking.
Right.
So do you need a motion to get that?
I would like to go ahead and get a motion on this one to get it started.
Any other discussion, questions for? What's the pleasure of the board for this?
Second.
Okay. Motion, and second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Polk.
Yes.
James Davis.
Yes.
David Duke.
Yes.
David Green.
Yes.
Carmen Harden.
Yes.
Stan Howard.
Yes.
Jason Lamb.
Yes.
Sean Pritchett.
Yes.
Mark Williams.
Item number 4, discussion action regarding approval of supply list for baseball field roofs at Copper Basin High School. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, second. Any discussion?
I would like to talk to that for just a second. So we had a group of 100 kids come this summer with a group of adults from some youth ministries. I can't remember the name of the church, but anyway, it was their missionary work.
It's team effort.
Team
They
effort.
come from all over, so we have them everywhere.
And they were doing lots of things for our schools as a group. Mush and I met one day with the director and was talking to them about the possibility of adding roofs to the block buildings that we have down there. And they said, yeah, we'll do it. If you buy the stuff, we'll do it. They itemized every board out and did all the labor and did quite a bit of work for free. So we got a great, as good a deal as we could get.